Heyo guys, what's up and welcome back to Toe Tags Metal Reviews, and today we're going to be giving you guys our final review of Iconoclast by Symphony X. So after a week for Vile listening to it after his first impression last week, I want to know, what are your thoughts on the album?
Thoughts are pretty good, man. Had a good time listening to this album. Right out of the gate, I'm going to tell you that I didn't shuffle at all. I found that I was having a really good time listening to it from beginning to end, and I didn't really feel a need to shuffle. There's a couple high points, a couple low points. Most of my impression, I will say, is completely positive. But to start off, there was a song that I was skipping because I just didn't like it. Can you guess which one it was? Wrong. It was the ballad. Song number 7, When All Is Lost. Now, I gave this song plenty of chances. I listened to it plenty of times. I really tried to get in the zone to like the song. It's not for me. I'm not saying it's a bad song. It's just not for me. I'm not opposed to ballads. I'm not opposed to slow songs. This one just didn't really have anything that appealed to me. Everything else, for that matter, was very, very nice. Children of the Faceless God was probably my next least favorite song, so I won't get into too much about it, but that was also kind of close to being skipped sometimes. I was just like, not sure if the tempo of the song was a little bit blah, the atmosphere of the song a little bit blah, but whatever. Not a bad song though. I still liked it better than When All Is Lost. On top of that though, Electric Messiah became my favorite song. This song is dope. There's so much good stuff happening in this song. The solo is amazing. About halfway through the song, it breaks down into some instrumental stuff, and there's this like crunchy ass bass line in the background. Love that shit. The solo is awesome, like I said. The song just takes you for a ride. Right after that, you got Prometheus, I Am Alive. Again, amazing song, totally groovy. They're just shredding their fingers off like crazy. Light Up the Night, Lords of Chaos, Reign and Madness. The whole second half of the album after the 7th track is bomb to me. But that's not to take away from the first half of the album, because track number 3, Dehumanized, was my favorite song after our first impressions, and it's still up there. I still think that song is great. It's got one of the best choruses on the album. If you remember from first impressions, I did shit on the choruses a bit. I'm still not a fan of the choruses, but they didn't bug me as much as I thought they were going to. They kind of just started blending in, and I kind of started just forgetting about them. Whereas on the first impressions, they kind of stuck out like a little bit of a sore thumb, and I was like, ooh, that's a little bit raunchy. I didn't get that raunchy feeling anymore, so that's good. At least they kind of grew on me, I guess, or at least I became tolerable of them.
You adapted to them.
I adapted to them. I mean, Bastards of the Machine, that's also a really cool track. Some cool lyrics here and there. Heretic, I mean, I can just go through these tracks one by one, and they all have basically everything about them is like positive, right? The rhythmic section, the melodic section, the vocals. I have some reserved feelings about the vocals too, I will say that. I think that Russell Allen is more talented than he presents himself on this album. There's certain songs like, is it Electric Messiah? I think it's Electric Messiah at the end, where he's belting out like these lines, and I'm just like, yes, like that's the raw tone this guy's emitting from his vocal cords is exactly what I want a vocalist, and he does that throughout the album. But then there's certain points where he's just singing kind of on a flat level, right? And it just seems like he could be doing so much more. He could be accentuating his part of the band so much more during those parts, and just give that part of the song so much more flair. Wish I could think of an example off the top of my head. I should have wrote something down, but it's not to say that it was bad. It's just that I feel like he could have shined a little, shined, whatever the word is.
You know, given that description of his voice that you feel, and you've kind of said that to me throughout the week as you've been listening, I think perhaps you might like the release after this one called Underworld, because I feel his voice on that album is a little more varied, I guess. Not to say that he did a bad job on Iconoclast. I think he did fantastic on this album. Yeah. I'm just saying you hear a lot more of the high ends of the cleans and then the low ends of the harsh. Like, it's very opposite ends at points. So I think you might enjoy that.
I'll definitely check it out, because I would definitely like to hear Russell Allen just with more range. Because I know he has it in him. I know he could do all kinds of different things with his voice. He's very, very talented. So yeah, I'll definitely check that album out and see where that goes. But I've talked quite a bit. Is there anything like that? Like, what about you? You listened to the album some more. I know you've listened to it a million times already, but did anything change in your opinion wise? Anything stand out to you more after listening to it this week than it did from your previous listens?
You know, one song that really started to step out to me was actually Dehumanized. Because when I first got into this album, there was only a few songs I was really kind of sticking with, which were the title track, Children of a Faceless God, and Prometheus, I Am Alive. Those ones I was kind of always listening to, and I still love all three of those songs. But I remember when we listened to it last week for his first impression, and I put it on a little myself just, you know, to check it out more because I love this album, Dehumanized kept standing out to me, and I'm like, holy crap, this song's incredible. Loving it. I just love how visceral everything is. And honestly, my comments for Dehumanized go throughout the entire album. The whole album is so powerful, it's very epic, it's in your face, it's just very pretty sounding. Russell Allen is such a fantastic singer. Just this album, I remember one time I just put it on and from start to finish it just blew me away. Like, I hadn't listened to it for a while at the time, so once I put it on it just hit me like, wow, this is actually amazing. Why haven't I listened to it? So, to comment on When All Is Lost, during that listening session I had myself when that song came on, it hit me the same way the title track did. With it's such a long drawn out song, very epic and very emotional. Slightly different ways when you compare it to the title track, but it's still very powerful, I find, and it's such a great bridge between the first and second halves of the album.
I can see that. Speaking of the title track, this is obviously prog band, prog album, and I have my reservations for the genre. Not a huge prog fan, but I do like my prog when I like my prog. This is an example of, in my opinion, is prog done right, because my issue with prog music is that with all the time signature changes and all that syncopation and stuff like that, the melody gets broken up too much in a lot of bands. And when the melody is broken up and it's disjoint or just feels off, it just takes me out of the music and I just have trouble feeling it. This is a perfect example of how to be prog and how to not break up the melody. You take a song like the title track, Iconoclast. I counted, this song has 65 time signature changes in less than 11 minutes. It averages a time signature change about every 10 seconds. And the song is smooth as butter. It does not sound broken up. It does not sound disjunct or disjointed. It just flows completely, and the entire album is like that. That to me is impressive. That to me is what prog music should sound like. I know there's definitely different types of prog, and you kind of get the bands that really are disjoint and disjunct, and that's the point of it. But for me personally, for that melody to flow, this is the kind of prog I need. So I'm really glad that out of all the albums you could have picked in the prog genre, this is probably a really good one that you picked for me, because I was able to groove with it the whole time. I was able to follow it along the whole time, appreciate it the whole time, jive with it the whole time, groove with it the whole time. All those different synonyms you want to use. It was working for me. It was definitely working for me.
That's why I picked it. Because not only do I love this album so much, but I also felt that it's such an accessible album. And I think that's not only a testament to this album, it's to this band entirely. Like, they just have very accessible music, but they're also technical, and they're deep rooted in the progressive genre. So I think it's just such a beautiful blend of being technical and being very accessible that just makes everyone happy.
True that.
So anyway, let's get to ratings on this album. I'm gonna start. I think it's no surprise that this is a toe tag album for me. When I first heard it, it blew my socks off. And even hearing it last week during that listening session, I just still loved it. And it just flows through front to back. Love it, love it, love it so much. So toe tag for me. How about you?
Expected that. You know what? This album is solid, okay? As I said, I do have my issues, my slight gripes with it, but nothing too big, nothing too bad where I can really take a crap on this album and say it's no good or anything like that. One thing I will add before I give my score is that everybody in this band shines on this album at some point. The keyboards shine here and there, the guitar shines here and there, the vocal shines, the bass shines, the drum shine. Everybody has a moment, and I feel like that's one thing that a lot of bands sometimes miss. Sometimes, you know, the keyboards get overshadowed. They're just there in the background for ambience. Sometimes the bass player, you can barely hear him. He's in the background for ambience. This band knows how to give everybody a spotlight at the perfect right times, and I think that's also a testament to making a great, solid album with solid bands. And yeah, I don't know, I guess my toe tag. Let's just put it that way. I guess my toe tag. This album is just, I'm glad you picked this out, man. I never heard this before, and I had a lot of fun listening to it throughout the week, so.
All right, I'm glad. Mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished. There you go. Iconoclast gets 2 toe tags. It's added to the list of albums. It is the first album this year, but it's not a new album, unfortunately. So we're still looking for that first new album of the year to get 2 toe tags. We'll see what happens. But anyways, guys, that's it for this review. So be sure to leave your thoughts below and let us know what you guys think of this album. And we'll be back very soon with more metal content for you guys. I'm Vile Self.
I'm TV Fish.
We'll see you very soon. Later.